This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Florida. I am here with JS1 Construction. Since 2003, this award-winning company is dedicated to helping homeowners make improvements to their house, making your home smarter, safer, and more user-friendly. I am joined with the owners, founders, Jane, Peter. Thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you for having us.
I'm going to start off a little bit with yourself, Peter. Share with me a little bit what you did in the past prior to this company and how you got involved kind of in the construction industry.
Well, prior to the company, I was in more of the architecture side of construction. I would be doing the drafting and the designing of, buildings and things of that nature. And when I came over to JS1, or when we started JS1, I started doing more of the construction side of the business.
Interesting. Jane, you were formerly educated with a BS in construction engineering, a minor in architecture, as well as civil engineering. You really have over a quarter of a century of experience. You've been a senior project engineer, construction and land development manager, ultimately now starting your own company in 2003. Share with me why you decided to launch out on your own.
Well, to be honest, I made a promise to myself some years ago. I actually got laid off in the construction industry, and it was kind of a terrifying experience. And I just made a promise that once I was employed again, I would do whatever is necessary to make sure that I had licenses to where if I'm in that position again, I'll have options. And that's basically what happened. Once I was employed, went through the classes to take what I need to take so that I have my license as a general contractor. And it just opens the door more to having more options. We live in a world where nothing is certain anymore. And it often presents itself to where you have to make tough choices. So we're in a better position now than we were back then.
I love the honest answer, pretty much close to my own. No one likes being laid off or someone in control of your future, and so you launch out. That's great. The desire to remodel your home. I mean, there's a wide array of reasons why someone wants to improve their living space. Regardless of the reason, do you enjoy getting to know your clients and really listening to their vision? Pete?
I do. I listen to them pretty keenly and try to figure out exactly what they would like to do. And being that I have the experience behind me, I can somewhat influence them to let them know these options are out there. They can do things maybe this way. They could do things, that way. And what it does is it gives them the opportunity to maybe do more or do things that they hadn't thought about before.
I mean, many come to you with a clear vision. Some may not even know what they need. They just know what they have is not working. For the elderly, I imagine that can be a bit overwhelming. Is that something you have found?
Yes, I think that's actually very true for that age group. A lot of times they don't realize that they should be planning years ahead. That's really what makes it more successful, is when you have decided, well, we're all getting older and we're all going to get there at some point. We have to plan if we want our life to be, as we want it or as we prefer. And that's what I run into most times. People don't plan. They do things kind of haphazardly, almost like a spur of the moment. They trust sometimes the wrong people, and they're led down paths that they shouldn't or didn't intend to go in the first place. So with the senior market, it's just getting that message out there that you don't wait. It's this is the home that you live in, you've lived in for many years, and you plan to be there forever. And you have to put things in motion to where that can happen for you in the long run. Think about the long term, and we're all guilty of not planning when we should.
That is for sure. I mean, let's face it, we all want to stay in our home as long as we can. But as we change, our needs, our mobility change. We want attractive, functional, and most importantly, probably a user-friendly environment. Has this really kind of become your specialty?
It has. We try to look for items or things that would make people's lives easier, getting around in the house safer, and just an all-around general better quality of life for them. And so let's say, for instance, we can do certain things in the house that would work for them even in their older years, but yet still works very fine for them in their younger years. And so it's a universal design that we try to implement in which it works for all ages. And if you do it right in the very beginning, it doesn't stand out and look like something that is being done for any one person. It just looks natural. It comes to you like as if it's no big deal,
Yep, absolutely. I mean, you help your client's home adapt to accommodate their lifestyle. Does this start with kind of showing the options, providing various layouts and design? And is that consultation step kind of exciting for the homeowner?
I find that it is. It sometimes can be overwhelming also because we're introducing things that they really most times haven't thought of. They call us in for the basics. What we get called in most times for is just a simple shower, tub to shower conversion is probably what we get called in most times for, because they're using this bathroom every day. They're kind of faced with what the issues are, and most times it ends up being the bathroom because it gets the most use, and it's also where most of the falls happen. And it's usually the family members that are calling. It's not the senior themselves, because they are kind of set in their ways. They don't want to change too much. They don't want to spend the money even though they need it. Those things are what I've found.
I mean, let's go ahead and touch on some of those areas that you're able to help with. Probably the most used space in the home is a kitchen. Is a kitchen, whether we're alone or hosting company, is the kitchen definitely kind of the hub of the home, and is it one of your specialties?
It is one of our specialties, and I do find it is the hub of the home. A lot of times it's the gathering point. If you have friends come over, everybody wants to eat, and so you kind of hang out where the food is, and so that area is the gathering area. And in the way that we try to design it in a way that is typically an open kitchen, an open living area. And so everybody can communicate, everybody can see each other. It becomes a real gathering spot. So it does tend to lend itself to that kind of a purpose.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not only can it be beautiful, but it must be functional. Is this a space where kind of user-friendly is a must?
Oh, of course. Absolutely. And there's many opportunities to do it in a kitchen, a space like a kitchen. The universal design that he speaks of opens its door more towards anybody being able to enjoy this space. It doesn't have anything that's off-putting. This is one of the things that we specialize in. The things that we suggest to a homeowner has to kind of fit in with what their home already looks like. Nothing crazy, nothing jarring and looks like it doesn't belong. If it looks like it doesn't belong, that's a problem. So that makes us different actually than other contractors also, because we've been doing this so long. We realize that those are the things that keep people from making the right choices. If they think it's going to look like it doesn't belong, or it looks like it belongs in a facility, that's something that I hear and see a lot. It's not done right in that case. It needs to look like it was designed with everyone in mind. And that's what we try. That's what we try to do best. That's what we do best, actually.
Yeah, and obviously you're doing your best. You've got years of experience that you bring to the table as well. I mean, the pairing of the perfect design with quality construction has made you really the go-to pro in your area of Florida. I mean, you go beyond the cookie cutter approach and you provide sought after customization. Do you think that's what kind of sets you apart?
I think it does. Being that my background is architecture, I tend to look at the nitty gritty of things. I look at the function of the items and how it relates to the things around it. And I think a lot of contractors will just do exactly what the customer says, but not think how can it be better, because the homeowner may not know everything out there that's available to them. And so what I bring to the table is I look at all the options. I give them things that they may not even have thought about. Something as simple as, let's say, a pot filler. The average person don't think about that, but if you have to lift a heavy pot to the stove, it makes a difference. And then I would design it in a way in which it fits right in with the decor. And so those are the kind of things that we bring to the table that you may not just get from anybody who's just going to do exactly what you tell them to do. You have to give them a little bit more, a little more value for their money.
You are able really to provide what a lot of what not so many remodels are able to provide. We're talking about an architecture who is right on with you and can answer those questions. I mean, if the kitchen is a hub for activity, the bathroom definitely has to be a close second, like you said before. How are bathrooms no longer just functional areas, but truly attractive and a space that you actually enjoy starting your day in?
I think it's the technology. There's so much technology out there that it's actually very easy, and it's overwhelming with all the choices. So I think that's where we come in, is to try to make it as simple as possible. Tell them what those options are based on what are the other parameters for their bathroom. Their bathroom might not be in a position to offer some of the choices that are out there. We pinpoint that as quickly as we can and present it to them in a way that they can understand easily.
That is excellent. Those with restricted mobility or even disability, they want to be able to care for themselves in their own home. Are there many options in the bathroom that, like you said, it can be overwhelming, but I imagine some people are they surprised that so much has evolved in technology in the past few years?
Well, in the bathroom, you're kind of limited in that regard to what, somebody with disabilities can and can't do. But we try to open up as much as we can for them, meaning, let's say, for instance, in the shower, we provide a roll-in shower in which you don't have any barriers to get in. So if somebody's in a wheelchair and they were able to transfer into a shower, like, say, wheelchair, they can wheel right into the shower and not necessarily need somebody to help them with it, which kind of gives them a little bit more independence than somebody having to help you to transfer to a shower chair, to get over a curb, to get into the shower. I think those things actually would help a lot. Sometimes the vanities, you'll make the vanity in a way in which they can wheel right up to the vanity and actually turn on the faucet themselves and really get all the way up to it, brush their own teeth and do everything. And so it gives them the sense of, empowerment, independence, and also for the toilet areas, we tend to put in decorative grab bars. And so it doesn't look like a hospital facility. In the shower, we have decorative grab bars in there also. So everything kind of looks good. It doesn't have to look like a hospital to be functional, and so
absolutely,
with those things, it kind of brings it all together,
That is great. I mean, obviously we want it safe like a hospital. We don't want them to look like one, yet the bathroom is one of the most dangerous places, like Jen said before. And we've touched on two of the many spaces in the home that you can remodel. But regardless of the room, you're really creating a place you feel safe and secure. I mean, this isn't just limited to the interior. How can accessibility even maybe start outside on the exterior?
The thing that comes quickest to mind is sometimes we've actually offered it or done it as a gift for some of our clients before in the past. If they like to be outside and there's a way in which they can safely get out there, one of the things that we have done in the past is give them a planter. If they're into gardening, it's a very easy way to get them involved and give them something to do. So you have a planter that's raised off the ground, maybe about 2 feet or so off the ground. So where they don't have to bend, it's more comfortable for them to tend to that garden. And they seem to enjoy it. So we've done that a time or two for clients, but not because they asked for it. It's because in the end, during the remodel, we learned more about them and we've offered or given it to them as a gift at the end.
And if I could touch up on that, in that same regard of starting outside the home, we've done where we have the pavement or the entrance to the house, we would ramp up to the doorway, and so you don't have a step up to get into the house. And a lot of times people overlook that, but one of the biggest obstacles is obviously stairs for anybody if they're in a wheelchair or walk or anything of that nature. And sometimes it's not only for the homeowner. I mean, sometimes you have guests that would like to come and visit you, and they would sometimes not try to visit because they have to go through the hassle of helping, get help, this and that. But if they know your house is accessible from the outside just to get into the house, you tend to have anybody that can actually come and visit you. And so it's not always sometimes for the actual homeowner, but also for the visitors that come to see them. And it would start basically at your front door. And that's usually the first barrier that anybody comes across.
Real quick though, one more thing adding on to what Peter just said is really important, is if you think about homes in general, just think about them. Most homes have at least one step to enter. I don't know why that is, because it shouldn't be. It should be very easy to just ramp the area up or just not have any step. Just make when you're building the home, keep that in mind. Just the grade should just slope gently into your home, and then we don't have all these problems.
Let me ask you this, Pete. As an architect, you work in an industry that is very exact and precise. Do you enjoy the people side of the business, and actually is it rewarding getting to meet and work with people?
It's very rewarding. I mean, when you're finished with a project and you see that the person can use it and they enjoy it because now they can do things they couldn't do before, or they're doing it a lot easier, it gives you a sense of satisfaction. I mean, there's no two ways about it. When somebody says, this really works for them, they really like this, there's nothing more to be said. I mean, it is what it is,
Yes. Jane, aging in place is a reality hopefully most of us will experience. As you take the final walkthrough with the client, as their eyes kind of brighten up and they fully realize they will love the home that they're in, is that satisfying for you?
Of course. It's just like Peter just said, I'm going to borrow, it just really warms your heart to hear that you've made such a difference in someone's life that, they're able to stay in the home that they love. Many times they've been there so long, they've raised their children there. It's their neighborhood, they know it. They have neighbors that they've grown to love over the years. You want to do everything you can to keep them there because you know that that's really what's going to make them happy. And keeping them happy should be everyone's goal, around them.
Great service you folks are providing for people out there. I was definitely glad to introduce you to our viewers. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. On the website is all the contact information right there. All the services they provide as well. Check out the gallery. We've been showing you some of their work on the screen as we've been speaking. Also check out those testimonials and you'll find out folks out there have been really pleased and happy putting their trust in this company that has over really a quarter of a century of experience that they're able to provide for you. This is an award-winning, family-owned and operated lifestyle contractor, enabling you to love the home that you're in. That is JS1 Construction. A quarter of a century of experience making your home smarter, safer, and user-friendly. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.